Hi, Gene Burnett from GeneBurnett.com. Another Tai Chi tip today. I thought we'd talk today a little bit about the what we call the ripple of power in Tai Chi. If you come from a style where you're not permitted to rise and fall within the movements, and you're not permitted to pick up and slow down your speed over the course of movements, and you want to stick to that, you might as well just stop watching this video, because we're going to do all kinds of illegal stuff. One of the easiest ways to look at and see this ripple of power is in the standard Tai Chi movement called cloud hands. So here's our version of cloud hands, and you'll notice I'm kind of picking up speed a little bit here, and then as I finish I'm going to slow down a little bit. So the ripple of power means that my movement is rooted in my foot. So that's my leverage, that's my root into the ground, the basis of that power. If I'm floating around in space, I can't do this. The power comes from my leg, the main power, generated from the leg, right? The waist adds a little bit to that power, but only when the power gets there, only when there's enough momentum that my waist is actually moving through space. So when the waist is moving, now it can add to that power here. If I start off and just power it from my waist, look what happens to my knees. Because when I power it from my waist, I have to root it in my pelvis. And the pelvis is a lousy root. It's sitting on two ball socket joints. It's inherently mobile and not that stable. The legs are stable, right? So root, power, direction. I'm directing that power to the side. And notice even when I'm doing it this way, you can see my shoulder moves, then my elbow, then my wrist, see? So shoulder, elbow, wrist. So that's the ripple of power. It goes foot, leg, waist, spine, shoulder, elbow, wrist. If I hold on to everything and keep a kind of constant ward-off energy like this going all the time, so holding on to it, the ripple of power has to force its way through this tension. And I don't like to do that. So rather than have my ward-off on all the time, I want it loose and in the middle, kind of on a dimmer switch, so that the only moment I really have to turn it on. I've got soft ward-off here. If someone were to push on me, I could yield in here, but the only time I really need to be firm is right there, because that's when I would strike. So it's soft and then boom. So the ripple has a course, and this is true of every Tai Chi movement. There's a course. It has a pathway, and if you relax your arms, and especially your shoulder, elbow, and wrist joints, and allow that power to go through them, you can just add a little bit at each stage of the way. Like this isn't going to do much damage to somebody, it's just my fingers. But if my fingers snap at the end of a long movement, that little thing will add acceleration and power at the end, just like the striker of a whip. So you want to stay relaxed and soft while you're doing the movement to allow that to go through. Another thing people do sometimes is they move each part independently at the right time, so it's coordinated, but it's coordinated local strength. In other words, it's local. My arms are moving my arms. So if I stop my body, my arms are still doing this. I'm doing it with my arms. I remember one time I asked my teacher, Andy Dale, so my hand moves at the same time that my weight shifts? And he said, your hand is moving because your weight shifts. And that was a big breakthrough for me, to really think of my hand moving, being moved by my legs and waist. So one of the rules we can have is, or at least a sub-practice is, study the movement and ask yourself, how can I make my legs and waist make my hand do this, instead of just my hand? Because if I stop my body, I want the whole movement to stop. If I'm moving through this movement and I stop, the hand stops, right? So here's that ripple, and I could accelerate it and snap there, I could do it here, 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 all these places. Right? It's going through my body. So you wait for it. So in my opinion, the solo form is an opportunity to study this ripple. That's what I do. The ripple goes back down into my legs and it comes back out again. It might reverse itself when I go soft. Wrists, elbows, shoulders, spine, hips, knees, feet. And then when I go out, it goes the other direction. But study that ripple. So as I said, the purpose of this slow, long form, aside from things like posture and developing basic leg strength and relaxation and stuff, is to study this ripple. when you do it more martially or with more power or more intensity, that ripple can't be something you're thinking about. It has to be instinctive. It has to just be in your body. A good way to look at this ripple too is the punch. I'm going to give you a diagonal view. So if I'm punching with coordinated local strength, everything happens at the same time like this, but if I stop my body, my arm is still doing this. And I don't want that. If I stop my body, I want the punch to stop. So I'm going to go foot, leg, waist, shoulder, elbow, wrist, boom. So it's a ripple that goes that way. So you're studying that ripple. So it's relaxed all the way until there. One of the downsides, martially, to getting kind of stuck in this way of looking at it is, yes, you have the ripple, yes, you have leg strength, yes, you're studying the pathway, and that's all healthy for your body so that when you're working and doing things, there's a natural sequence to things. You're not straining with just your arms, you're bringing your whole body with you. It's really important stuff in daily life. Because really, you know, the chances of you getting in a fight are much lower, say, in the next year than the chances that you're going to have to deal with gravity for the next year, or the chances that you're going to have to deal with aging for the next year, or just random luck and crazy stuff happening in the world, objects and things going around. So those are very patient opponents. So it's good to have alignment. It's good to be, you know, let gravity not be your enemy, crumpling your neck and your joints so you stay upright. But when you go to use this with more speed and power, there's a downside, and the downside is that this ripple telegraphs itself. If I look right at you, you can see it coming? Ooh, no matter how fast I do it, you can see it coming, because there's a coil, and this all moves before the hand. So when you understand the ripple and it feels really good in your body, you can then do something that's, I think, fairly advanced, and that's let your hand lead the way and let your ripple catch up to it. So that at the moment of impact, yes, the ripple arrives, but you're not doing this. You're just moving your hand, boom, and the ripple arrives with it. So if you're like setting yourself up like this, instead of boom, pushing it through and setting it up with all this visible motion, you just move the hand. So when you move the hand, the ripple catches up. It's hard to see, but in really slow motion, it would be like this. I'm moving my hand, the ripple catches up. So my hand's in motion. The first thing they see is a hand coming right at them. And then as it arrives, it has the ripple. At least that's as I understand it, and that's something that I'm working with. I'm not by any means an expert at it. I'm not a combat fighting guy. I haven't been in a fight since I was 8 years old. So hitting a moving target that's trying to hit you, I don't have much experience with. So don't take this right out into combat based on what I'm saying. But I am saying that study that ripple, and then if you want to experiment with a little bit of less telegraphing, think of just moving your arm and letting the ripple catch up. So you look at your target, you move your arm towards the target, and then you add the ripple at the end of the motion. But that's really hard to do if you don't know the ripple. You'll end up just jerking your shoulder out of place or just snapping your arm with no power. So understand this ripple, feel it. When you relax, feel it go arms, torso, hips, knee, feet. When you issue energy, feel it the other way. Foot, leg, waist, spine, shoulder, elbow, wrist, boom, like that. And that can really improve your practice, I think, and give you a sense of something moving through your body. You can call it chi, you can call it momentum. There's a lot of different ways to look at it. I just feel that that's where I would strike. I would strike with my shoulder. I would strike with my elbow. It's where the momentum is. It's where the kinetic energy is focused at that given moment. Whether or not it also corresponds to chi as it's used in the Chinese medical systems, I don't really know. But it is something I definitely feel. If I hold on to everything and move everything together like this with my arms stiff or tight, I don't feel it. I don't feel anything going through my arms. You know, whereas if I just relax my arms and go like this, now I can feel something going through them. There's something going through there. There's that ripple. So it becomes a more powerful, more connected, more flowing, and I think for your joints and your neuromuscular system, just a more healthy movement. So thanks for watching. I hope that helps a little bit. If you like this kind of thing, I do lots of Tai Chi videos, lots of music videos, lots of nature videos. They're all up on my YouTube channel. We have a new YouTube design now, so I've got a featured music video usually, and then I've got a playlist below that. And one of those playlists is all my Tai Chi movies, and one of them is all my nature movies, and one of them, several of them are separations of my various music videos. So check it out if you like it, subscribe, or visit my website, GeneBurnett.com, and again, thanks for watching.